Hello, everybody. Good morning. Happy Wednesday to you. Here we are, March 2nd. And welcome to the next PsychCandy segment. Today we're going to be talking about emotional vampires, the people that drain us out and, you know, just kind of suck the life out of us. And sometimes it happens and we don't actually pay attention in the beginning. We wait. We wait until they've drained us almost completely. And then the light comes on. Then we start looking at it and saying, hey, something's not right here. And sadly, sometimes the emotional vampire, it's it could be in our friendships, it could be family members, it could be people we work with, our romantic relationships. And so when we get to that place though that we're starting to recognize, what do we do? And are we equipped to actually start paying attention to the people that truly are toxically connected to our world, to our mindset, to our daily? As a therapist, I have found that the biggest energy drain on my patients is relationships. And some relationships are positive and mood elevating, but others can suck optimism and serenity right out the window. I call these draining people emotional vampires because they do more than just drain your physical energy. The most malignant ones can make you believe that you're unworthy, unlovable. Others inflict damage with smaller digs to make you feel bad about yourself. Oh my, I see you put on a few pounds. Or you're just overly sensitive. And just like that, they've thrown you off center by prodding areas of shaky self worth, where our self value has been kind of tested. Now, I'm going to share with you 5 signs that you've encountered an emotional vampire. Your eyelids are heavy and you feel ready for a nap. Your mood takes an absolute nosedive when they come around. You want to binge on carbs or comfort food, maybe. You feel anxious, depressed, or negative. And you feel put down. To protect your energy, it's important to combat these draining people. So I'm going to try to share with you some strategies that can help you combat emotional vampires from a very empowered place. Now there's 5 types of emotional vampires. Now the first is the worst, and that's going to be the narcissist, the narcissistic sociopath. That's that is the most draining, absolute point of a relationship gone bad. And their motto is me first. Everything is about them. They have a grandiose sense of self-importance and entitlement. They hog the attention and crave admiration. And they're dangerous because they lack empathy and have a limited capacity for unconditional love. If you don't do these things their way, they become punishing, withholding, cold. So, how do you protect yourself? Well, you keep your expectations realistic. These are emotionally limited people. So, try not to fall in love with one or expect them to be selfless or to love without strings attached. Never make your self worth dependent on them or confide your deepest feelings to them. To successfully communicate, the hard truth is that you must show how something will be to their benefit. And though it's better to have to contend with, this tedious ego stroking, if the relationship is unavoidable, this approach works. You have to remember that a narcissist, they lack that part of the brain that most of us have, and that is the ability to actually see when we cause self harm. They don't have that ability. They don't actually have empathy for you. It really comes back down to all about them. And if something goes wrong in that relationship, guess whose fault it is? Yours. Always. It's always going to be your fault. And you will never make them accountable for their actions. Ever. That's what drives people that are in those relationships into that feeling of insanity. Because it's a loop process. Because you want so badly for this person to be accountable for what they've done, to address the harm they've caused, to address the hurt they've caused. They never will. And if they do present some element that they're sorry, I promise you this, it's fake. They're giving you what they feel like is a social norm for them to provide to you in order to get past that situation. However, they will always turn around and make it about you. It's your fault. You were overly sensitive. You know, it was your action. It was your mindset. It was you being a drama queen, whatever the case may be. The next is the victim. Now, these vampires grate on you with their poor me attitude. The world's against them. It's the reason for their unhappiness. And when you offer a solution to their problem, they say yes, but. And eventually, you might end up, screening your calls or purposely avoiding them. And as a friend, you may want to help, but their tales of woe just simply overwhelm you because it's always and constant. So, how do you protect yourself? Well, set kind but firm limits. Listen briefly to the friend or relative, but then say, I love you, but I can only listen for a few minutes unless you want to discuss solutions. With a coworker, sympathize by saying, I'll keep having good thoughts for things to work out. Then add, I hope you understand, but I'm on deadline and I must return to work. Therefore, you're setting a healthy boundary. Body language is important. You can signify, hey, this isn't a good time, such as crossing your arms, breaking eye contact, can help enforce healthy limits. I see some people think, oh, that would be rude. No, that's you taking care of you. That's you taking care of the aspect of self-care, self-awareness. And those are important for us to do. They're very important for us to do. Number 3 is the person that's a controller. These people obsessively try to control you and dictate how you're supposed to be and feel. They have an opinion about everything. They'll control you by invalidating your emotions when they don't fit into their own rule book. They often start sentences with, you know what you need? Do you have those people? Hey, you know what you need? And then proceed to tell you. And you end up feeling dominated or demeaned or put down. So in those situations, the secret to success is to never try to control a controller. Be healthily assertive, but don't tell them what to do. You can say, I value your advice, but really need to work through this myself. Be confident. Don't play the victim. Kristen, awesome to see you again, love. Welcome to the room. Welcome everybody here. Number 4 is the constant talker. I have a few constant talkers that have been in my life. These people aren't interested in your feelings. They are only concerned with themselves. You may wait for an opening to get a word in edgewise, but it never comes. Or they might physically move in so close that they're practically breathing on you. You kind of edge backwards, but they step closer. So what do you do in that situation? Well, these individuals don't respond to nonverbal cues. You must speak up and interrupt, as tough as that is to do. Listen for a few minutes, then politely say, I hate to interrupt, but I have to talk to these other people or get to an appointment or go to the bathroom. It's a much more constructive tactic than saying, keep quiet, you're driving me absolutely insane. If this is a family member, politely say, I'd love if you allowed me some time to talk, too, so I can add to this conversation. If you say this neutrally, it can definitely be better heard. But we have to set those limits. We have to set that boundary. And we're doing that for ourselves because if you don't have a clear and healthy premise that you operate within, well, that's not what, then you're not projecting that. But when you can project that in all of these different situations into these kind of people, you're maintaining yourself present. You're maintaining a healthy space. The fifth thing is the drama queen. Now, these people have a flair for small incidents, you know, into off the chart dramas. For example, my patient Sarah was exhausted when she hired a new employee who was always late. And one week he had the flu and almost died. Next, his car was towed again. Each time this employee left her office, Sarah felt tired and used because there's always an excuse. A drama queen can't draw energy from like an equal situation. In other words, stay calm. Take a few deep breaths, and this will help you not get caught up in the histrionics. Set kind but firm limits. Say, for example, you must be here on time to keep your job. I'm sorry for all your mishaps, but work comes first. Take a value in what you're doing. To improve your relationships and increase your energy level, I suggest taking an inventory of people who give you energy and those that drain you. Try to spend time with the loving, nurturing people and learn to set limits with those who drain you. This will just kind of enhance your overall quality of life. It's far too common that we get stuck in these modes where we have the connection to, Joe and Susie who, oh, well, I've known them for so many years. But every time you get together, it's just a draining process, and you end up tolerating these people instead of actually enjoying their company. And that's where, sadly, a lot of people end up. We end up tolerating. We're tolerating people. And when we tolerate people, guess what? You're you're draining your own self out. You're depleting what you have in your inventory for you. And we have to keep that replenished, but keep it replenished in a healthy way, in a positive way. Now, that's the topic that I have to share with you today. I would like to open the stage up. If anybody would like to come up here and share some thoughts or words on this topic, I would love to hear from you. Today is also something to consider. Today is also a new moon. And with a new moon, it's kind of like it's a restart. It's a recycle. It's a time to let go of some things that need to be let go of and embrace some of the new things that we want to embrace in our life. Treat it as kind of, it's your next new chapter. And when we can embrace that new chapter, that's us embracing the healthy. And sometimes it might mean letting go of some people, letting go of some situations, letting go of those emotional vampires that drain you out. A lot of people call this March Madness, right? So let your March Madness be a healthy madness. Let it be a time for you to embrace the new possibilities, the new chapters. Make a decision. Your life is your life. You're the author of your own life, and everything you do is a choice. So we can choose what world we live in for ourselves. We can choose what our life is and who's connected to it. So I hope this has helped some of you and you're able to take something from this. And thank you all for being here. Thank you for joining me in this space. And until next time, I just encourage you, be happy, be healthy, and be you. Thank you so much.